Hello and welcome on 360 Sport on Trust TV. Adeni Ajishafe. Well, worldwide Chelsea fans are right now so happy for the fact that they booted out the former manager now, Graham Potter. That will be the story we'll be looking at on this show today. I will be looking at other stories trending in the world of sport. Although for Anthony Joshua, a good one there. Welcome you once again on the show, 360 Sport on Trust TV. I have Emmanuel Fashim in the studio. Good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
And now we start with that first story. Anthony Joshua. A lot of Nigerians were hoping that he would win that fight, and he was able to win. Looking at that story, boxing, Anthony Joshua returned to winning ways against Jermaine Franklin in that fight that happened at O2 Arena in London, England. And he was able to win via unanimous decision there from the judges. He actually ended up in 118, 111, 117, 111. Another judge rated him 117, 111 there in that particular fight between himself and Jermaine Franklin, the American they call 989 Assassin. I still don't know where that name came from. The Assassin couldn't beat the AJ.
Yes, I think why he was nicknamed the Assassin is that if you look at it, he has only just lost one fight in all of his career and this is the second fight he will lost. And for Anthony Joshua, over the week, last week we said he is going to use this fight. I tagged it a redemption fight, and which he actually did in a more fashionable and very spectacular style. Even though it was based on point, he had at the points where actually, if you look at the points, 118, 111, 117, at least he had scored Franklin in all of the points. And so far, if you from the fight, you see that Joshua really meant business, and he actually didn't take that guys as an easy prey. You see the hunger, you see the anger. I think he came into the ring full of anger. Joshua wants to make a statement with his punches, and he actually did that. Congratulations to Joshua. And after those 3 losses, I think we can say Joshua is gradually, I can say he's one step now coming back, because so many fighters have lost fights in the way he lost, as in the last 3 fights, and they tried to come back. But they couldn't. But for Joshua, I believe with his determination and that courage he has right now, I think he's on the road of coming back into the ring. At least maybe for the next 2 or probably 3 years, we might still see Joshua being active in the ring. But I think after that, he should just go and at least what we call retirement. But so far so good. I am happy. Other Nigerians are happy. In fact, some places all over the world are also happy that they actually won this fight. His fans, they want to see Joshua coming back. And surprisingly, even before now, Tyson Fury's father actually gave support to Joshua.
Well, from the way it is right now, Anthony Olufemi Joshua celebrating the fact that he won that fight against Jermaine Franklin, the American who came sore but couldn't conquer at the O2 Arena. A big fight there that happened on Saturday. A lot of people were really hoping, and really it happened, that Anthony Joshua won that fight. Congrats to him, and hopefully he's right now hoping that he will get it right against the likes of Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder, to see how we can also get back to the heavyweight category of challenging them. When it comes to boxing right now, he lost twice to Alexander Usyk in the fight for all the belts, but for himself and Tyson Fury, that will be another fight that a lot of people are looking at, where you have 2 British fighters facing themselves. Away from boxing now, let's talk about the MPFL. Matches were played over the weekend, where you look at Group A. Well, Nasarawa United lost against El Kanemi by 1 goal to 2. And you have James Isaac scoring for them in 37 minutes, pulling one back against Ugochukwu Uja's goal in 27 minutes. Jacob Jonathan was the one that scored another goal for El Kanemi to make it 2-1 in favor of El Kanemi Warriors of Maiduguri. They did well in Jos. Plateau United, they shared the spot against Bende Insurance. Well, despite Coach Ilechuku saying they will be the one to defeat Bende Insurance Force in the league, they couldn't do it. Uzuchukwu Chimezie scored in the 42nd minute, while Deputy Echeta replied another goal to make it 1-1 at the 71st minute to make make it 1-1 for Bende Insurance. So right now they are yet to lose in this competition. Akwa United pipped Eyimba by Longo. Uche Collins in the 73rd minute scored that goal. Kwara United, they lost at home against Shooting Stars of Ibadan. They are 1-0 cost of Joshua Akpan in that particular encounter. If you look at Group B result, as it also went down, let's look at Group B result now before we look at how the table also is standing. You have Wiki Torres of Bauchi against Dakada FC 3-1. Ama Chibundu scoring the brace there in the 21st and also 72nd minute. Salisu Ibrahim Magaji made it 3 for Wiki Torres, 54th minute. Jonathan Prosper pulled one back for Dakada FC to make it 3-1 in favor of Wiki Torres of Bauchi. Lobby Stars 1-1 against Rangers International. Godwin Abaje and Elijah Ani scoring those goals for their teams. Bayelsa United, it was a walloping against Abia Warriors. Mizo Robert, Alex Jerry, Alex Ojoa scoring there. You also have Steven Wisdom also adding one more, so to make it 5-1 against Abia Warriors. Doma United, newcomers in the MPFL, they are really doing well. They actually won their game 2-1. Cost of Usman Musa, a penalty. Charles Chubuike was scoring 76 minutes, while Mark Daniel pulled one back for Niger Tornadoes to make it 2-1 in that particular encounter. Well, right now, let's look at how it is concerning the MPFL Group A table, and also we look at B table also. Well, for Group A right now, news just reaching out is that Remo Stars, the game they play, they actually play goalless there in that particular encounter. Now, Remo Stars should be standing second because they add one more point to their 20 points so far scored. So you have Remo Stars should be in second. After all, the match is just being played this morning there. Bende Insurance are still topping that. They have 26 points from 12 matches, and you have 6 matches to go. Akwa United are now going to be standing, they are standing still second. Remo will be standing third there with 21 points, just a point between the two of them. That's Remo and Akwa United. Plateau United are standing fourth. Eyimba are standing fifth. You have Shooting Stars, Gombe United, Kwara United losing to Shooting Stars. They have 12 points from 12 matches. Nasarawa United, who actually lost against El Kanemi in Jos, they have 8 points alongside El Kanemi Warriors on goal difference of -7 and -13. Well, for Remo Stars, 21 points now from that 20. They just add 1 point this morning to make it 21. Now standing tall there.
Big one for Remo Stars after issues came up yesterday in that game, and this morning, even after the conclusion of the game, with feelers getting towards that it was the reserve referee who actually officiated the match, that the center referee who was threatened didn't show up. But overall, I think it's the duty of MPFL to investigate and see what actually went wrong and why the threat came for the referee. And this season has started beautifully. Remo Stars shouldn't come and spoil the beautiful season that we have seen so far, because this season we've not heard about any crisis anywhere. So Remo Stars want to be the first team to do it this season. But overall, it was a good performance from all of the team over the weekend, and most especially for Bende Insurance. Osaren was actually was pegged down, and he never got that chance to even get a goal. And Deputy Echeta came into the rescue again for the third time this season, where Osaren couldn't score goal, and probably we have them getting that away draw right there in Jos Township Stadium. But overall, for Group A, I think it's looking tougher and tougher. The table looks if it looks like this week, by next week you are sure to have, maybe by midweek you are going to have a change of position. But in Group B, it's not like that. In Group B, it's just one. You see the two powerhouses who are trying to topple each other. That is Lobby Stars and Rivers United. If Rivers stop, Lobby Stars will go second. That is how it has been. And for Rivers United, why they are not at the top of the table right now, because of the continental engagement, that because they didn't play over the weekend. But so far so good. we've had some good, and Bayelsa United winning emphatic 5-1. They are the biggest winner over the weekend there, and Jose Pizarro was there to actually watch that game. Maybe that was why the boys actually came all out to get that 5 goals. They want to impress Jose Pizarro. Okay, I can find my way into the Super Eagles, and I love that. This is what we want to see. But they shouldn't just go and watch MPFL matches without not getting at least 4 home-based players should be inside Super Eagles, and those 4, 2 should be starting. 2 should be a regular starter.
We've been talking concerning MPFL match day 12 as it went down across Nigeria over the weekend. Now looking at Group A, but now let's look at Group B table that have been flashed across there. Let's look at how we're standing there, where Lobby Stars, although they've played 11 matches, and right now you have Rivers are trailing them. They are yet to play their own game. They have 2 games to play right now. They have 19 points following Lobby Stars there with 20 points. You have Doma United right now standing tall on the law with 19 points. Niger Tornadoes, the Ikon Ala boys are really trying their best to make sure they be among the top 3. They have 18 points from 12 matches, standing 4th. Abia Warriors, who lost scandalously against Bayelsa United 5-1 in that game. They are standing 5th with 18 points. Sunshine Stars of Akure 17 points, followed by Enugu Rangers and Bayelsa United. Despite winning so huge, they are right now standing 8th with 12 points. Those goals got them 3 points. They are wicked race of Bauchi. Also, they have 12 points. Dakada FC are still down the bottom of the table in Group B of the MPFL match day 12 as it went down. Now, looking at Group A and B, back side by side, you want to agree with me that it seems Group A seems to be tougher, right?
Yes, Group A it seems to be tougher because if you look at Group A, former champions, 2017 champions are there. That is Plateau United, and then we have Aqua United, who were champions 4 seasons ago, and then we have Enyimba, who are the highest winner, 8-time champions of the MPFL. So if you look at Group A, a lot of the only team that is not, we have Shooting Stars there, who are also were former champions when it was still called Nigerian, the way it was Professional Football League. So if you look at the standing, and Bendel Insurance, who are also one of the oldest teams in the in Nigerian club football. So if you look at Group A, it's actually tougher. It's full of champions, and everybody is jostling to get points. I'm not surprised to see Nassau United languishing at the 9th position with -7 and 8 points as it stands right now. And
why are you not surprised?
Because this group is actually, I told somebody that if you get out of this group successfully, then you should thank your stars. Because when I saw the grouping, I tagged the Group A, I tagged the group of death. Because if you look at all the teams, everybody are, will I say, they are the big boys when it comes to the MPFL that are in that group. Because Gombe United is not a push aside. But for Enyimba, and now look at where Enyimba is. Enyimba has been a team that understands Nigerian club football so well. They dominated the MPFL for quite some time. But look at the way they are struggling. They lost to Aqua United, a team that were champions 4 seasons ago. And look at Plateau United. They were 2017 champions, and last season they came second behind Rivers United. They are standing 4th with the way it stands. So every team in Group A is actually tough. If you get the point, and if the way it's going, it's only Better Insurance that has not lost a game in that group, and they are actually doing well with 26 points. They are giving Aqua United 4 points gap. So it's looking good and as in competitive for Group A. Overall, any team that gets relegated from that place, I think they even tried.
Now look at Bende Insurance, they have 26 points here, followed by Aqua 22, Remo Stars 21 now, because they just finished their own match. And you look at Group B, 20 for Lobby Stars, topping the group. Rivers United, 2 games in hand to play. You have Doma United, 19 points. Niger Tornadoes, Abia Warriors. You see, this particular group is not as
it's not as tough as Group A, because if you look at Group B right now, the strongest team you have there is Rivers United. They are the defending champions. Even before now, they've always, when it comes to Nigerian league,
and surprisingly, Enugu Rangers.
Then Enugu Rangers, the oldest club in Nigeria, one of the oldest club in Nigeria, part of it. And then if you look at Niger Tornadoes, but for the newcomers like Doma United to even be on the third position in that group is to tell you how easy that group is. And for Rivers United, I still believe Rivers United is going to top that group because they have 2 games in hand, and if they can get the maximum 6 points, that means 4 points, they will be back to the top of the table. So the for Group B, the competitiveness is not as tough as Group A. Now, for Group A, everybody is fighting for his or her life in that point. And from let me say Plateau United, we have how many games to go? They can see, if anything, I'm not saying Plateau United or whoever is going to lose all the remaining games of the season. But as it stands, anything is possible in that group.
Anything can happen right now. Talking about Group A and B of the Nigerian Premier Football League. Those matches were played over the weekend, and right now they seems to be edging closer to the end of the season. That's the Abridged League, where teams like Bender Insurance yet to lose this season. They are still topping in Group A, and you have Lobby Stars right now topping in Group B. A tough one there, but at least all of them are battle ready. Matches to go right now. They have at least 6 matches in the NPFL before they will go for the Super 6. And now we go to the big one that happened just yesterday while the day was actually falling off. The news came out that Chelsea and Graham Potter have actually separated. The marriage has actually lasted for about 6 or more months while it was at the end of affairs over there. Stamford Bridge finally has come to an end. And a lot of Chelsea fans right now having a relief concerning that particular man, Graham Potter. We are focusing on the Graham Potter sack. That's what we're looking at right now. I'm talking about Graham Potter sack right now there. Well, before we talk about the statement, Graham Potter was at the end of affairs with Chelsea for a while, and right now he was there. He did everything he could. Maybe let me use that word. He did everything because according to him, he said the players tried their best. Now it didn't work out. He has been sacked.
Yes, the players tried their best, and for Graham Potter, he couldn't hold his own in that team. Out of 31 games, 11 losses, and then 11 losses, and then 8 draws. So as it stands right now, in the last 22 league games, that is EPL games, 22 EPL games, he lost about 22 league games. He won 7 out of 22 EPL matches. 7 out of 22 EPL matches, and that is not a good record for Graham Potter. This was a man who took 2 years to build Brighton, and he felt he could do the same, let me say, the same transformation that he did with Brighton, as in bringing that experience to Chelsea, but it couldn't work for him. And it's really with the way it stands, even the board, even the owner, Todd Boehly, and the other person, they never actually wanted, because at some point the board was divided over Graham Potter. Some were in support of his sack, while some were not in support. But at the end of the day, I think they had to come into conclusion after that dismal performance against Aston Villa over the weekend that, okay, let's let this guy go and probably find the new person should just come in and take charge of for the remaining games of the season. But for Graham Potter, he's not a bad manager. It's just that things didn't work well for him in Chelsea. 22 league games, only winning 7. I know it's a bad record, but in this era, no matter how I want to look at it, he's the worst manager that Chelsea has ever gotten in this era.
While we are talking about Graham Potter, let's look at a statement from Chelsea when that happened yesterday. Quickly, Chelsea FC has announced that Graham Potter has departed the club. Graham has agreed to collaborate with the club to facilitate a smooth transition. In his time with the club, Graham has taken us to the quarter-final of the Champions League, where we will face Real Madrid. Chelsea would like to thank Graham for all his efforts and contribution and wish him well for the future. Bruno Sauter will take charge of the team as interim head coach, co-controlling owners, Todd Bowley and Bedard Mbali, said, on behalf of everyone at the club, we want to thank Graham sincerely for his contribution to Chelsea. We have the highest degree of respect for Graham as a coach and as a person. He has always conducted himself with professionalism and integrity, and we are all disappointed in this outcome. Along with our incredible fans, we will all be getting behind Bruno and the team as we focus on the rest of the season. We have 10 Premier League games remaining and a Champions League quarter-final ahead. We put every effort and commitment into every one of those games so that we can end the season on a high. Coming from Chelsea hierarchy there, talking about Todd Bowley and also alongside Bedard and Mbali there. Well, Mbali and Todd Bowley, both of them, they are the co-controller of Chelsea right now, making this particular statement. We have 10 Premier League games remaining and the Champions League quarter-final ahead. We will put every effort and commitment into every one of those games so that we can end the season on a high. And somebody has a question: why didn't they do this all this while?
Well, doing that all this while is they've given Graham Potter the support they can. One, they signed players for him. I know at some point I questioned the players they signed because it looks as if Graham Potter didn't have a say in any of the signings, in any of the players that were signed. You know, at some point, a coach needs a player, and he tells the board, "Okay, I need this player. He's going to suit my he's going to suit my style of play. Then get me this player and see how we can go further." But overall, for Graham Potter, he never had a say. He was not given that chance to actually get players he wants. But as it stands right now, for co-owners of Chelsea to actually come out with it's a passionate statement. If you look at it, it is now looking as if they never wanted Graham Potter to leave the team. But it's good at this point in time to save Graham Potter of his let me say his pedigree, his career, because if he continues to stay in Chelsea, definitely he's going to get the disgrace. Should I say disgrace right now? I think his career is going to keep going down, and that's going to put a dent on his career. But good one, the club has actually come and making that statement is to show that. They are actually supporting Graham Potter. And he himself has said he's going to support the transition process. That's to tell you he might not leave Chelsea completely. He might still have, maybe he will be working behind the scene, maybe voluntarily until he gets maybe a better place to go and work, a place where he's going to stamp his authority, and then maybe a team that suits his own style of play.
Now, let me cut you short there. Looking at this in total, all the matches he played, not even peer, everything. 31 games, 12 wins, 11 defeats, 8 draws, 33 goals scored, 31 goals conceded. His 39% win rate is the lowest of any permanent manager at the club in the 21st century. What a record.
What a record. You know, everybody has a record, either good or bad. It just happened that Graham Potter's record right now is on the red side, because with this kind of record, you can't say Graham Potter is a world-class coach, or you can't say Graham Potter is an average coach, and the kind of coach that would have you say, okay, would do well in Chelsea. Though he came with his dream and everything that I'm going to do well in Chelsea, there's nobody who is going to a team and say, okay, I'm going to do bad. But because he had that dream that, okay, I want to take Chelsea to the glory days or back to the glory land. But as he stands with his record in Chelsea, I think it's a bad one. But he himself, he knows the players were not working for him. His style of play was not working for him there. And at some point, we should also blame the players, because not Graham Potter alone. Because it's any team that is not doing well, the hammer always falls on the coach. What of the players? The players should ask themselves questions. But so far, so good. It's not a good one for Graham Potter in Chelsea. Would have stayed with his Brighton, and then maybe probably allow somebody to come there and then watch.
Was it his fault that they came for him?
It was not his fault, but he has that chance to say no.
Would you have, if you were to be Potter, would you have rejected that particular offer at that time?
I won't, because the money was
spent. Let's not make it look like it's his fault now. But really, and in fact, if they have come for Salisu Yusuf, I'll say yes, I would go. I'll take the job. Seriously. While we're talking about Graham Potter there, let's use that for you to talk about EPL. Yes, matches were played over the weekend. We saw Newcastle defeating Manchester United. We also saw Arsenal really coasting home. Manchester City, what a match against Liverpool. They won't forget in a hurry. A lot of games over the weekend. But right now, let's just look at how the table is standing in group. Talking about the Premier League, Arsenal really coasting home there. While Manchester City thought they've reduced the tally, they also added to it again, still making it, showing their class that we are here to make it to the last lap. Arsenal, they are standing top there, followed by Manchester City. You have Newcastle, Manchester United. Well, Chelsea, they are no longer 10th on the table now. They are now 11th. Although before we get to Chelsea, let's look at this table now. Newcastle seems to be, defeating Man United that match 2-0. What really happened to Manchester United?
For Manchester United, after their 7-0 annihilation in the hands of Liverpool, they've not won any game. They just one draw against Southampton, and now they've lost the second game against Newcastle. For Manchester United, in yesterday's game, they were not really up there. They didn't actually give their best. The players were tired, and we saw tired legs from the players, but that's not an excuse. I've always questioned Erik ten Hag's formation at some point, and there's this problem Erik ten Hag has had is this what we call panic substitution. He doesn't know when his team is not doing well, maybe when they are maybe a goal down or whatever. He does what we call panic substitution, and instead of him to bring in the right players, he will end up bringing the players who will not help to maybe lift the spirit of the team. And that was what we saw yesterday against and Newcastle came back for their own pound of revenge after they lost in the cup final.
Right now, some teams are really celebrating the fact that they are really trying their best to make sure things get better for them. The likes of Arsenal, Man City, not forgetting Newcastle United. Now, if you look at the bottom of the table from 11 to 20 in the Premier League, it's getting more interesting right now. You have Chelsea there. They have 38 points. That was the last straw there. They actually brought the cameras back there concerning Chelsea losing to Aston Villa. And that was it. Crystal Palace, Wolves, Wolverhampton Wanderers on 13th position. You have West Ham, Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, Leeds United, Everton, Leicester, and Southampton. Well, what's happening? The three last teams there: Everton, Leicester, Southampton, Nigerians.
So seriously, Nigerians.
I'm so.
It's a pathetic one for these three teams, especially Southampton that has two of our players, Onuachu and Joe Aribo, and they are languishing. I don't think Southampton will have any. They can't escape this relegation as it stands. But overall, a team that actually surprised me is Crystal Palace getting their first win under the new manager Roy Hodgson, the man who never wants to retire. They got their first win under him. So maybe that's a sign of good thing to come for Crystal Palace.
Well, from the way it is now, the battle is still on from number 12 to number 20 as they are all fighting to see who stays on in the Premier League. That will be it on 360 Sports. Congrats to Anthony Joshua. And for Chelsea, better days ahead. Emmanuel Fashimi, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Adeniyi Ajishafe. Sport is always business and fitness. Thanks for watching.